Okay, so picking up from the last video, sorry we got cut off. So last video I was alarmed because I didn't draw my ocean in the right place. I drew it on the 90th frame, and see what happens when you draw on the 90th frame. The frames before that don't have the same information or the same picture. So I go to my 90th frame, I click on it, I go edit, cut, okay, and then I go to this frame as well. Now it's a keyframe. Keyframe means it's different than the frames before, okay? So I'm gonna right click and then clear a keyframe, okay? So it doesn't have that circle in it, right? When it's got a circle in it, it means it's a keyframe. So then I'm gonna go to the first frame and go to edit, paste in place, there we go. Phew, now I have my ocean back. I'm gonna go to mountains, make sure I'm in the first keyframe, the first keyframe, and go to my classic brush tool, go pick a nice green, double click here, pick a nice green, that one's nice, okay, and then I'm gonna go and draw a nice mountain. Okay, some mountains would be nice. Okay, so it doesn't matter that I'm, drawing kind of overlapping the ocean because it's hidden behind the ocean. So I'm just gonna make sure that it's a bit nicer. There we go. Yeah, there you have it. And I'm just gonna clean it up a bit. Okay. And of course, each of these mountains and oceans can be doing something, but I'm not going to, because mountains and oceans, I don't really want them to move. But let's say I have another layer called birds here. Okay, birds. Okay, so maybe I want to have birds. Okay, so I'm just going to make this small, really small, and then I'm gonna, draw maybe brown birds in here. Okay. All right, but maybe every, maybe every 15 seconds I want them to disappear. So insert keyframe. So I'm going to insert keyframe every 15 seconds. Sorry, not 15 seconds. Insert 15 frames. Every 15 frames I insert a keyframe on the bird's timeline. Okay, not timeline, sorry, layer. Insert keyframe and insert keyframe, and then again 90, insert keyframe. So I make sure that the 90th frame is the same as looks the same as the first frame, because these animations, they loop, they go back, and they play until 90th and they go back to the first. So if anything is different on the last and it goes back to the first, then there'll be this quick switch. So I make sure that it's always the same as the first. Anyway, so I go to my 15th frame and I move those birds around. I move some of them around. Okay. Okay. So it's not going to be smooth because they're just going to kind of start appearing in different spots, and they're not going to have a tween, which is like a smooth transition of moving from one spot to another. All right, so it's, but that's okay. I'll just show you this. We're just doing this exercise to show you how the timeline works and how they work independent of each layer. So each layer, they're all the different layers are on the same timeline, but you can animate different things on the timeline, on each layer in the same timeline. So let's see what that looks like. So okay, so a very, very simple animation, nothing too fancy. Okay, so if I didn't like where my name is, I could always move it down here. Yin moves down here. I can move that here. And then my last name could be moved there. So let's see if that looks better. Okay, so play from the start. So I'm going to play from the start. Okay. So very, very simple. Don't worry, we'll be doing more exciting stuff next class. But this class, I just wanted to show you how the timeline works, how the layers work, and also how to use all the basic tools so that you can draw quite simple shapes right now. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is show you how to file and then export it as a movie or video or an animated GIF. So let's go export as a movie. Okay, so you can, when you export as a movie, it could be a SWIFT, it could be a SVG, it could be a JPEG sequence. So let's just go SWIFT, and then we can name this in your, in the right folder. So I'm going to go to 3205 and go to animate, and I'm just going to call this my first movie. Okay, my first movie. So SWIFT is the animate movie file basically, so you can only watch it if you have animate on your computer, but that's okay. If you send me that, I can open it up. So let's go take a look. You also have to save this file. This is your working file, so let's save it also as there you go, documents, in the same folder as well. So let's save everything in the animate folder, and I'll call that my first movie. Okay, and an animate document is saved as a .fla file. Go. And now let's go take a look at your SWIFT file. Let's go see what that looks like. So FDU, info 3205, animate. Let's go take a look at my first movie. Oh. Actually, you need a Flash player to play SWIFT, so that might not work. Okay, so let's actually go back to your file in Animate, and let's go export it as something else. Okay, so sorry if that was confusing. So so I actually realized that I have to open every one of your SWIFT files in Animate to view it. So I think the faster way for me to view what you're going to hand in is to just go export and export as animated GIF. You can also export it as a video. Okay, it will be much higher quality, but for the purposes of this class exercise, I would like you to just go to File, Export as Animated GIF. And you can see that the quality won't be as good, but that's okay. I just want to see what you were able to come up with. So let's go save that. Okay, and then now if you go to your folder here, and you can double click, there we go. You can see that it plays over and over again. It's quite fun. Okay, so I would like everybody to send me your first animated GIF. You can put your name in it, or if you want to do, if you have some other crazy idea or fun idea you want to try, you can do that as well. Make sure it's at least 3 seconds long. All right, so go have fun, and please submit your animated GIF to me as your class exercise. All right, so that's it for this class, and I hope you had fun, and we will take a closer look at the timeline and doing some tweens and smoother transitions in our next class.